Okay, we should be live. This is me doing a let's play of the Harebrained Schemes Battletech game, their backer beta. It is a beta. There's a lot of missing features. You can see we've got no mech lab, no multiplayer yet, but that should be coming to the beta in a little bit. At the moment it's purely Lance versus Lance, 4mechs versus 4mechs. The multiplayer PvP is going to stay that way. A single player skirmish I think will eventually let you skirmish against vehicles as well as mechs, and there'll be a single player campaign with a mix of opponents. And what I'm going to do now is just start up a game. I've been really wanting to try out the Awesome variant, the AWS-8T, which has a couple of LRMs and a couple of large lasers.
Welcome, Commander.
So I'm going to try and throw together a squad that's got one or two of those mechs in, stick them against some reasonable opposition. The opposition's only going to be helmed by the AI because there's no multiplayer, and then we'll see how we do. So if I'm going to be using Awesomes, at the moment there's 3 levels of squad points limit, if you like. Currency's called C-bills. If you're not familiar with Battletech, then just feel free to abstract that as an arbitrary points cost that tells you the worth of a particular unit. So here we have an urban mech. It's a relatively light mech, only costs 2.1 million, whereas a medium mech in this case costs about 6.1. And if I up the points limit to 25 million C-bills, we can see suddenly we have mechs available to us that cost up to 8 million, and in the case of the biggest mech in the beta, the Atlas, 100 tons of walking scariness, that's 11.4 million. So let's see, I've got an Awesome in this example Lance. You can see though that that's the AWS-8Q. This has got 3 PPCs, energy weapons that generate a lot of heat. I want to try out the version that's got missiles and lasers. So let's sort by name. And here we go. It's a bit more expensive. It's got a small laser in the head. Carries the LRM ammo in the center torso, which is the most well-armoured area of the mech. We can see here the mech's got 125 internal structure, 150 armour, and on the rear of that still 95 armour, which isn't bad. It's pretty well armoured all round, is the Awesome. So let's get one of those. Let's turn the Orion into one of those as well. Sort by name again. Here we go. So what we've got, 16.4 million, just under 9 million to fill out our Lance. A Vindicator is not a bad little mech. It's still not the most user-friendly of interfaces yet, just to see what we've got. So we've got LRM5 for a bit of long range harassing, small laser for some melee, PPC's the main gun, a long range energy weapon again, and a medium laser. We've got jump jets for mobility. This might make a reasonable spotter for us, and because I want a spotter we're going to select a mech. Select a pilot, rather, who can get a sensor lock for us. I want Witness. Witness must be in another mech. Yeah, he's in an Awesome at the moment. Not much point in having a sensor lock person in an Awesome. I'm quite tempted to try out the multi-targeting pilots in these Awesomes. Yeah, let's give Kraken a go. She's got multi-target. She's got great gunnery skill as well. Gunnery will dictate the accuracy of the weapons I'm firing, and obviously the more accurate the guns, The more often you fire them, the more damage you inflict. So let's get 2 high gunnery multi-targeting pilots in these awesomes. And I've got to shave 6 million off this, so I've got 4.4 to spend on my last mech. So we're sorting by cost. Well, another Vindicator, a Hunchback's just too expensive. I'm quite tempted just to try out a cheap and cheerful urban mech. I've not actually used an urban mech yet, and we've got in Sumo a pilot with precision strike, which when he's shooting a single weapon, and with the urban mech you're realistically only ever going to be shooting a single weapon, he gets to ignore some of the defensive abilities available to people. Now Sumo's got great gunnery, so he should be a very accurate sniper. Awful tactics, not so good at picking up enemies on sensors. Slightly better than average piloting, I think, and an okay guts. I think the only thing guts does at the moment is help pilots deal with heat, and the urban mech is not one of those mechs that runs hot. Who's our other precision strike? It's Apex. She's got similar stats, I think, 8356, and Sumo. Okay, so it's the tactics and the piloting swapped over. Tactics is useful for shooting downed opponents, and I think with these awesomes I'm likely to have downed opponents, so let's put Apex in instead. So we've got our Lance here, coming at 22.7 million, fairways under budget. But we're against the AI, I don't think that'll matter. Sadly we can't save these Lance configurations yet. Let's pick, what's in a heavy fire Lance? A Battle Master, some Jagermechs, a Commando. That Battle Master with Bulwark could be pretty scary if it gets close. These Jagermechs will be able to put up, or Jagermechs if you prefer, will be able to put out fairly blistering rate of fire, and they'll have a Commando. We might do some sensor locking though. I have heard that the AI is not great at using sensor locks. This seems like a bit more of a well-rounded Lance. This evasive Victor with Paradise in it, that's going to be pretty challenging to deal with. Angel of Death Griffins. Yeah, this is going to be a very mobile opponent. Yeah, I think that's pretty scary. I like that. See, we've got River Crossing. I've done that a few times. I don't think I've done Alpine River recently. Let's do that on a frozen day. Yeah, frozen day. Let's see how that goes.
Commencing deployment. Mech warriors, prepare for combat.
Okay, we're ready to go.
Command interface initiated.
Seem to be getting a decent FPS. I know some people have saying with some rigs they're seeing some drops, but in a turn-based game you can't be unhappy at all with about 60 FPS. So let's have a look at this map here. So we have very high hills up off to the left. We have this frozen river, and kind of a bit of a T-junction. here. This will be great to park the Awesomes in, far away from the enemy. The Awesomes always, well, the PPC version certainly runs hot. I don't actually know how hot the LRM and laser version runs, but I can't imagine it's cool. So I might send my Vindicator and my Urban Mech in this direction, use the high ground for spotting, and run the Awesomes down here, get some indirect firing up the river. Let's see how that works.
Waiting for orders.
So we've got all of the possible places I could put this Awesome, represented by these dots here, and after going there I get the option to check the facing, and you can see there's some range bands in that as well. So if I want to be getting stuff at this junction, and looking at these range bands, realistically I don't want to be too much further away than here. So what I might have to do is lure the AI to come down this way. Yeah, this might be a bit of a slow opening, but let's go for it.
Aye.
Receiving you.
Off we go.
Position confirmed. Got it.
And by the way, we can see where the enemy spawn. There's a beacon here. If it was a human opponent, they would presumably see the same beacon from where I started. So you get a bit of get a pretty good indication of where they are. And this is the Urban Mech. That's how far it can sprint. It is a post box on legs. It is not.
Moving to position.
It's probably, I think, if not the slowest mech out there, it's one of the slowest. At this phase of the game, if you've not played the beta at all, or you've not seen any Battletech, we move, all of my mechs move, then all of the opponent's mechs move. When we get into sensor contact of each other and the sensor range, you can see there's this blue line here. This is telling me what the sensor range will be after I've moved. Once we have sensor contact on each other, then we'll drop into the initiative phase, which I'll talk about when we get there, because it's a lot easier to understand at that point. So I'll be pretty exposed here. I might just come this side of the rock.
Position confirmed.
Poor Urban Mech. Get out there.
Move order confirmed. Yes, Commander.
And the Awesomes continue their march.
Coordinates received.
Standing by.
It's a bit hard to select. Oh, I can get through this valley and drop down here. Maybe that's still the best thing then.
Got it.
Oops. Camera went a little crazy there. There's a lot to like about the Awesome. Just a big, ugly slab of metal. Right, so we've had the move. Still nothing in a sensor contact yet. So some of these dots are green. They indicate that I'll be in cover. As well as sprinting, I will get the evasive bonus for sprinting, which will give me a 50% dodge chance on anything that hits me. Cover will give me damage reduction as well on top of that dodge chance. So unless you get sensor locked or suffer a precision shot, sprinting into cover gives you quite a lot of defense. Oh, and here we have the first sensor contact coming in.
Yes,
So
Commander.
I'm going to park this Urban Mech, hopefully well out of sight up here.
Moving out.
Should have a pretty low profile being a small mech. Might not come up on their sensors, especially if they don't have a high tactics skill.
Standing by.
Right, and let's get these Awesomes, yeah, up like that. if they come down into here, you can see they're going to be in range of some long-range
Ready for
bombardments. And hopefully I won't be too far away from getting down to this water before I get too hot. Okay, and now you can see we are into this initiative phase. Phase 4 happens first, so I would move my lightest mech here, but you always have the option when you're in a phase to reserve the mechs that are in it. You have to reserve all or none, and you can see if I mouse over reserve, my chevron pops from the 4th to the 3rd. I definitely do not want to stick this urban mech's nose out from behind its rock before as many of the other opponent mechs have moved as possible, because then I can pop out from the mech, hopefully get a shot off, and then at the start of the next phase just run him straight back in to cover. So we will reserve here.
Waiting for my opening.
They've got more mechs than
New
me in
sensor
this
contact.
phase, so they're going next, and we have a sensor contact. Now at this point I still want them to come a bit further forward so that the Awesomes to get them, and I still want the urban mech to be able to basically move twice without being affected by them, so I think we're going to reserve again. I hope that Blockade is going to be well protected, having sprinted into cover here.
Roger.
So we'll pass the turn, we'll see what the AI does. Here's their first mech moving up. Don't have line of sight yet. Oh, there we go. Okay, so they've obviously got line of sight on me here. Blockade takes
Come on,
some
send
damage
me a
there.
real mech warrior.
And now it's our go. What happened to Blockade? So he took 37 points of damage to the left torso, which is where my LRM in the ammo is. That could be nasty if that gets that ammo gets criticaled. That will pop and we'll lose the arm. The arm's only got a small laser. Not the end of the world. So what I really want to do now is not that. I need to get line of sight on this. I've got probably at least 2, maybe 3 of my mechs moving before their heavy mech comes out.
Yep.
So I can see here, once I've moved, that I'm going to have line of sight on these 2 mechs, which is pretty good. And we can see from the little chevrons coming out either side that I'm going to have, some of them are gold, some of those are white. That's telling me that 2 of my weapons are going to be at an ideal range and one of them is not going to be in an ideal range. So let's move in.
Heading out.
Okay, and this is their Griffin. We've got their Shadowhawk up there on the rise. Both Griffins are untouched. Yeah, I think the Awesomes are going to have a decent chance of picking on that Griffin. I think I left the wrong pilot in this mech. I was planning on putting Witness in, wasn't I? Oh well, live and learn. So let's see, the small laser's out of range, the LRM, very little chance to hit. And if we go over here, we've got 75s in the PPC and the LRM 5 there. You can see over here we're generating minimal heat. I think we're going to make this Shadowhawk the first target.
Taking the shot.
Alright, Blockade, let's see how we go. Okay, we've got a solid leg hit from the PPC, scattering of damage from the LRMs. That was pretty good, pretty good. That PPC, anything more powerful than a medium laser or an AC2 will chop through that into the internals. No head hits. and minimal damage anywhere else. Okay.
Aye, aye.
So, can Apex get anywhere? Now, what Apex can do is jump, and you can see if I do jump, I can get some shots on the Shadowhawk. So let's do that. I've got a pretty... and after jumping as well, you get pretty much free rotation.
Engaging jump jet.
So Apex is going to pop out. I'll click off the small laser even though it's well out of range. We've only got a 60% shot. There, it's at long range for the AC. They moved as well, so they get a bit of a defensive bonus for that. But we've got the high ground on them, which makes it a little bit better for us to hit. Let's see if we get lucky. Oh, nice center torso hit. Yeah, that's pretty promising. Oh, so it's over to us again, so we are getting to go before them. So let's see. Well, the LRMs, if we go straight to attacking from here, the LRMs have a great chance to hit. 95% on both of them, and the large lasers too. And we can see that gives us a massive heat spike. And what do we have here? We've got 80%. Now this is where I think I might be tempted to multi-target, because I can put some missiles on both of these, and I can move into cover here. So if I move here, I think what I want is I need to move somewhere where I've got a good range on both of them. And if I can shoot both of them with an LRM-15 each, I get to maybe unsteady both of them, and then the next Awesome maybe knocks them both down. And that can cause pilot injuries and all sorts of useful things. So I think we will take advantage of this cover here. The game's showing me that I'm going to have an unobstructed line of sight to both. Let's use that. Okay, going to click multi-target. I've got targets A and B, and we're going to be democratic, and we're going to pop I think actually we're not going to be that democratic. We're going to focus on the Shadowhawk, but I'm also going to send some LRMs into the Griffin, try and unsteady it so that Wildfire and the next Awesome can knock it over. Let's see what happens.
Confirmed. Firing.
Okay, so we've got a good evasion from the Griffin. No evasion from the Shadowhawk. The Shadowhawk's unsteady. We didn't unsteady the Griffin, which is a shame.
I'm here.
Wildfire can now step up.
Copy that, Commander.
And I think, well, let's have a look at this multi-targeting again. So, the large lasers, okay, slightly better. On A, we've got the height advantage and the accuracy. It's long range and they've moved, so that's a slightly difficult, +8. On B, it's only +6. So I think it's fine. We'll continue to make that Shadowhawk our main target. Our Griffin is A here, and we'll see if we can knock that Shadowhawk over as well as put a lot of fire into it. Here we go.
Aye.
Yeah, a few dodges from the Griffin. Oh, did we miss with both large lasers? That's disappointing. Okay. So the Shadowhawk is down, that's great, and we're up with Apex again. Now I don't know if anyone can see Apex, they almost certainly can, it's really tempting
Commander?
to take this cool shot on the Shadowhawk. Oh, it's only a 55% chance to hit from up here. That's not that tempting then. So I think we will let discretion be the better part of valor for her. Get her back behind this rock. And even brace back up there just to make sure, in case they do get line of sight in here, try for some indirect LRMs. Okay, the Shadowhawk's up. We didn't get any cool shots in it for lying down, which is disappointing. But the pilot would have had some accuracy penalties there for standing up. Okay, now we've got Blockade. Blockade does have Angel of Death, we've got LRMs. What I really need to do is get line of sight on that Shadowhawk so the Awesomes can target it. It doesn't like I can do that. Okay, yep, so I can get in the water for calling. Not that that's especially relevant. How far can we jump with our Angel of Death? We can jump clean over there. I can do a death from above attack on this Griffin and then just eat attacks from this medium mech, and we haven't seen their assault mech, their Victor, but it must be coming. So that feels a little bit crazy. I don't think we'll jump. I think we'll just move. The Griffin's got to go. The Griffin is in the water. That gets me line of sight on both. I don't think the Griffin can get around me for a rear arc shot. The pilot does have death from above. If they do that, they do open themselves up to the Awesome, so maybe I'm okay with that.
Copy that.
So let's have a look at our options here. We've got 75s in the LRM there. Yeah, I think the Shadowhawk's still the priority target. Shooting it from the side, a bit unfortunate. Unless we take the leg off, we're just going to chew through some armour, but I think that's fine. Oh, we got the torso. That's great. It's got the autocannon there. No crits, sadly. I think that's another Griffin up there. That's almost certainly going to do a long-range LRM bombardment. Yeah, there we go. Indirect fire. Minimal damage, minimal stability. Oh, the Griffin backs up. To be fair, if I saw two Awesomes coming down a hill towards me, I'd probably back up too if I was in anything lighter than an Atlas.
Oh, they don't like me at all.
Well, that is a pretty good outcome for me. If we can get these awesomes into the water... Oh, not quite. Not quite, but we are getting there. What if I get to here, say? I will have line of sight, possibly obstructed to the Shadowhawk, and indirect sight to the Griffin. Okay, let's do that.
Heading out.
So I've got some weapons deselected here. I understand that's a known bug with multi-targeting. Let's turn on the LRMs. Hit multi-target. Hit both of these. So we're at 65% on the LRMs. We can see we're going to bleed off about a quarter of the heat. Not too bad. I can probably bring in a large laser on a 55%. Yeah, I don't think I want to bring in two. And that's got to be on B. And we want one LRM on B as well. Spread the damage.
Confirmed.
Here we go. So the center torso is exposed. Oh, we got an ammo crit, so he won't be using his SRMs. And he's unsteady as well. Both the Griffin and the Shadowhawk are steady. Here comes their victor. I really would be in a great position if this Shadowhawk and Griffin were out of commission by the time the victor comes into play. That's going to give me obstructed shots to both. That's also going to give me an obstructed shot on the Shadowhawk. Yeah, I think we want to get as close to the water as possible, just to give me back access to that extra cooling. When that victor comes close, we're going to need all the cooling we can get. Right, let's set up the multi-targeting. Both targets again, we're at 55s and 65s as normal. So we'll click off a large laser. That's not going to leave us well within our heat thresholds. So a large laser at the Shadowhawk, fine. LRMs at the Shadowhawk and some more at the Griffin. Let's see if we can knock both of these flat.
Ten-4.
Nice head hit on the Griffin. Yep, both of them knocked down. That is a number of pilot injuries there. That's pretty good. I think...
Standing by.
I think you're now way out of being in a useful range, aren't you? So I think we'll reserve you. Okay, now Griffin gets up. That's fine. My blockade and my Vindicator is going to take a cold shot, I think, at their Shadowhawk. Okay, that Griffin... Let's blockade have it. Blockade is still armoured everywhere, but that armour is looking a little patchy. And yeah, it's not going to get too great for him. So let's see what would happen if I were to attack the Shadowhawk at the moment. I get a cold shot in the centre torso. 65s to hit. And can I see the reason why? Yep, no shot, no base shot modifier or anything there. Let's go moving. And just see if I were to do that. That's with two of the weapons being in an optimal range as well. Can I get back to here? If I do, I'll lose sight of the Shadow Hawk. That's here. Looks like I'll lose sight of the Shadow Hawk. There as well. Yes, I might push across the other side of the river. That might just give me some obstructed sight ranges to those other two mechs coming out the back here. And then let's see if this is the time to get rid of that Shadow Hawk. If the PPC hits the center torso, that Shadow Hawk is dead. Oh, here we go.
Confirmed.
Oh, I missed. Disappointing. Now the Shadow Hawk's up.
Ah, you bastards.
Okay. Right. Time for Apex to shine. You can jump and you can get a line of sight. Obstructed line of sight, unfortunately.
Prepping for jump.
Let's see. Yep. Oh well, we'll take the shot.
Target
See what
confirmed.
happens. Ah, miss.
Failed to connect.
I obviously need to get Apex a bit closer so she can be a bit more useful. Griffin misses with the PPC. A few LRM hits. Blockade's still hanging in there. How many pilot injuries have these mechs taken? There does not appear to be a way to find out. Oops. Okay, well now we get the
I'm
Awesomes
receiving you.
down into the water.
Move order received.
Which should hopefully allow me to fire without restraint. Yep, you can see standing in the water, firing all of my weapons apart from the small laser. We're doing pretty well. Again, I'm going to split fire, but we're going to focus on the Shadow Hawk and put just one flight of missiles into the Griffin. Hopefully this will end the Shadow Hawk. Come on,
All right.
Wildfire. There we go. Not much left of that for salvage, sadly. And we've unsteadied the Griffin, which is great. Here comes the Victor. Oh, it's a scary, scary mech. Came sprinting in, it's evasive.
Ready for orders.
Just click all these weapons on. Well, I think we're repeating the pattern. But I'll put a flight of ailerons into the Victor just to see if we can soften that up as well. Yep, the Victor is target B. Great, and then let's see if we can put the hurt on that Griffin.
Splitting target.
I think we've got a couple of centre torso hits. There, we've got head hits. The Griffin goes down. That's another pilot injury. That Griffin pilot has got to be feeling pretty poorly.
Awaiting orders.
So, if we can jump... So we can jump to obstructed shots for the most part. I think what we need to do is jump into cover.
Lifting off.
And we'll brace there to get the Garden and the Trent bonuses. Should be pretty resilient for damage even as a light mech. We'll try and line up a good shot next time. Oh! The Griffin's determined to go out swinging.
I've got an armor breach.
It's not my Vindicator unsteady.
What do you need?
Really expose that centre torso. A couple of medium laser hits and he's dead. That left torso is hanging on by a thread. So I think we decide here that discretion is the better part of valour. Try and find somewhere in jumping distance that is not in line of sight. This is all indirect fire only. Let's do that. And the Victor is in line of sight. Let's have a look at this. So the Griffin, we won't take it out with a lucky LRM hit. Where do you keep your LRM ammo? In that right torso. I think we'd be very lucky to hit that twice. I think the best thing we can probably do is try to get the Victor unsteady. So we'll just pop some LRMs off at that Victor. Dodged a few of them, a bit more stability damage. It's the first time they've even scratched the paintwork on the Awesome. I think, oh, maybe they took some other indirect fire before.
Receiving you.
Right. Single large laser hit's not taking out that centre torso yet. Two large laser hits might. I think it's probably reasonable just to back up a little bit.
Roger.
Ah, then I can't see the Victor. What I should have done is selected these weapons before I did that, checked my line of sight and range on them. As it is, we will just... is it even worth firing the LRMs at 40%? I've got a reasonable amount of ammo. The heat's not a problem. Some of them will hit and might cause crits. And there's the unsteady bonus as well. Yep.
Attacking.
Let's see if we can eliminate this Griffin entirely. Well, we killed the pilot.
Removed.
That is the power of LRMs. And we're about to probably witness the power of an AC-20. Oh no, the Victor comes sprinting in. Okay.
Yes, Commander.
Well, he's pretty close. I'm wondering at this point if whichever one of these things I move to, I've got a 75% chance of hitting with the melee strike, doing 120 points of damage. That gets through the armour everywhere but the centre torso, but only a 75%. If I stand my ground and shoot, well, the large lasers got a great chance. The small lasers still out of range. The LRMs low chance to hit as well. I think at this point I'm probably safe to reverse. Yep, the LRMs will still be possibly a bit close for being within minimum range. We'll see. Yep, those LRMs are still in minimum range, but a lot of dodges in there from his evasive. We got a disappointing amount of stability damage on there. Right. Maybe our Obermech's time for to shine.
Yes, Commander.
Where can we jump with Angel of Death? Not quite into a rear arc. Let's see, what would we... have in the way of chances? We jump into cover, get a side shot on. We're shooting the right arm that has the AC-20. Taking that AC-20 out could be very useful. We've got an 80% chance to hit. It's probably the best odds we've had for a while. Oh, and he dodges it with his evasive. Well, he had a 50-50 chance of doing it. And I think we were pretty glad of the cover there. Yep, we took 30 damage on the arm. Still in one piece though, that's good.
I'm here.
So at this point, I'm thinking, their Griffin's gone. What I really want to do is see if we can get line of sight onto their Griffin. Maybe if I get high ground like this, they'll be visible. And if not, I'll leave myself this LRM shot on the Victor. Still can't see that Griffin. Oh, that's a pest. Oh, we'll pop some LRMs into the Victor. A couple hit, bit of stability damage. Oh, the Victor backs up. There's that fearsome AC-20 powering in, some SRMs as well.
Reporting. Major armor lost.
Really rocked Kraken there.
I'm here.
Got 50%. If I get here, if I reverse, can I get better than that? Yeah, I get gold brackets on everything, and it looks like I can still see, at least thanks to wildfire, and maybe with the vision from blockade. So let's reverse. And we let that Victor have everything.
Engaging with target.
I'm seeing no dodges. They weren't evasive there, they're unsteady. Softening the armour up a fair bit. A decent chance that wildfire is going to get internals. If I reverse 1, I can still see and we get gold on everything. So we back up a bit.
Roger
Just
that.
pour everything into this Victor. We get a knockdown. No other criticals, unfortunately. Injure that pilot. Okay, well the great news is we now get a cool shot on that Victor with Apex.
Commander.
I think I'm going to jump for a moderate
Prepping for
defense
jump.
bonus into cover, just to help protect us from that Griffin. What is our... We're at 90% without inspiring. If we inspire, we only go to 95, and I think we're probably better off inspiring one of the Awesomes that's got 4 weapons rather than someone who's got 1. Right, we do not kill that center torso. We can blow off their arm. The center torso's got nothing major in it. We could just decapitate them with a headshot, but we're off to the side. I think I play it safe. Try and kill the arm nearest me. If that right arm comes off, then that Victor just becomes a death from above threat. It's still scary, but a lot less scary. Here we go.
Affirmative.
We hit, there goes that arm. And that big gun. And the Griffin comes into line of sight now. Oof. And blockade is looking
That crap. That shot went internal.
pretty unhappy.
Yep.
And that, I think, is very reasonable for him to be pretty unhappy. Right, this Griffin is more or less untouched, isn't it? Yeah, it's completely untouched, in fact. So I'm looking for somewhere I can jump. I've got a PPC. I want to be at a reasonable range for that. And I don't want to be obstructed. Ideally, I don't want to be easily punched by this Griffin either. It looks like I don't get to have everything I want. We'll jump here.
Roger.
Oh. Or just walk there because I didn't hit jump. And we'll see what we can do. Let's soften up. Let's turn off the LRMs, not much point in firing them at 35. Pick the center torso.
Copy that.
Oh, we missed with the PPC again on 75%. And I think the medium laser didn't hit the center torso either. Victor gets up. Backs up round a corner. XRMs and medium lasers, and
Reporting.
Blockade
Internal
is somehow
damage.
still alive,
Oh,
but lying down.
oh, that
2 pilot injuries, so he's not.
meat.
He's a lot closer to
I'm
being.
receiving you.
He's a lot closer to his mech dying than he is.
All right.
Let's push Wildfire up and see if we can deal with this Victor. We're at 100%, so amusingly if I inspire I'm going to wind up with worse hit chances. So we won't inspire.
Taking the shot.
We'll just put everything to that Victor. That's some,
Reporting critical hit.
heatsink crit.
Ready for orders.
I don't think that's going to be here or there really. %, on everything again. Why is this so good? They've moved a bit, they're big, we've got decent weapon accuracy and we've got really high gunnery. Again, don't have to worry about heat at all here.
Target's taken a critical hit.
They've got paper thin armour left on the cockpit. 2 pilot injuries and 1 attack thanks to the LRM hit and the knockdown.
Standing by.
Apex. Maybe it is worth inspiring for that extra 5%.
No retreat.
PPC shot to the head will, or an AC-10 shot rather to the head now, will kill him, as it will at hitting the center torso. Let's fire it.
Copy that.
Center torso destroyed. Okay.
Down.
Just one untouched Griffin to go, who is almost certainly going to take out Blockade now. Oh no, they've run away. Oh, I've reserved Blockade by mistake.
Standing by.
Let's stand him up.
I'm
Let's
up.
jump, and then somewhere
Let's go.
where, for some reason, this cliff acts like it's in water, which is very strange. %, only on the LRMs. We've got plenty of ammo.
I'm on it.
Did we miss with more or less everything there? I think we did. Oh well. The good news is that both Awesomes
I'm here.
will have line of sight
Order
now,
acknowledged.
even if it's obstructed. And still being in water can afford just to pour everything into this Griffin. And I can't see this Griffin lasting too long, even if it is taking only 50% damage.
Orders. Confirmed. Firing.
Yeah, probably should have saved the inspiration for this exchange. 95% on these would have made a big difference. That puts the Griffin down at least. It's got an RM5 large laser.
Commander.
Alright, where can Apex go? Can she get to? Somewhere with line of sight, she can. Let's do that in, see if we can get a nice cold shot in. What's in that left arm? Nothing. ahead. It's only a 50%.
We'll go.
But that's a 50% chance to do that. Nice. Well done, Apex. So, 4 mechs left, though Bulwark is definitely feeling not too clever. Yeah, very successful test of that Lance configuration, I think. I think would have done a lot better with Witness and Sensor Lock in the Vindicator. Could have kept him out of range, out of sight, sensor locking things for the Awesomes to shoot in. Not putting Witness in the Vindicator was a big mistake, but we managed to get away with it. We'll skip the survey for the moment. I think I can get one more game in